Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys to take us closer to continue the journey of Ben 10 Omniverse. This is Season 1, Episode 10. This is Part 2 of what was introduced, of course, Part 1 last week of Predators and Prey. I had to look at my phone, actually, to see what the title was, because honestly, I couldn't remember what the title was. I'm like, what was that title? Because it popped up when I was editing, but at the time, I'm like, I didn't see the title, and actually it did pop up. But of Predators and Prey, that title was so good because the dog, alien, whatever, Kyber the Huntsman's dog, whatever, he was turning into all these different aliens or morphing and changing into them. Turns out we know how, because he has a version of the Omnitrix, in a sense like the DNA or some sort of like code because of malware, which is crazy. This whole connection of how they're tying in the flashbacks and everything to current time. All the aliens that dog's turning into, that alien dog, are the predators of the aliens that Ben is turning into. That's why it keeps changing. Whenever Ben would change, it would then turn into a specific aliens, because it's the predator of that alien. It's just crazy how that all tied in. I'm like, oh, okay, we're just seeing a bunch of aliens. No, there's a reason behind it, and it makes total sense now. And we got introduced to a new alien last week. Ball Weevil. Was it a Ball Weevil? Is that what it was? Crazy alien. Simple on design, but such a weird, but at the same time, it's fun. It's fun. Ben, however, he's captured by Kyber, which means Rook is going to have to come save the day, because Rook and Ben, they split parts. They split apart. I thought it was a trick. I thought it was a way to get Kyber to come out, right? No, it's actually not. They actually got into a legitimate fight. It seems, unless they reveal, oh, by the way, it was a trick. Like, I don't know, but still, Ben was on his own. Yeah, he was trying. He didn't go so well, but he was trying his best. So I'm curious where we go from here, because like I think this is the ending of this kind of season, because from what I'm understanding, 10 episodes per season. It's kind of weird, but apparently that's how they broke it apart, I guess, in that way. I have no idea how, because I've never really seen a show do that before. So it is interesting for sure. So let's just dive into it. Let's see what happens here in Part 2 of Predators and Prey. I'm curious to see how we're going to go about this episode. So let's dive into it now. I can't even talk. Blah. It's been a day. Anyways, let's go. Back at the ship. All right.
So, Kyber, is it? Love what you've done with the place.
I am the ultimate predator, and you are the ultimate prey.
Dude, you so owe me a new hoodie.
This souvenir is but a taste.
Ben 10.
You think you're the first big bad who wanted to hack off my Omnitrix arm? Creeps like
no,
you have
true.
been trying and failing, by the ways.
We witnessed your little tiff in Undertown, including the destruction of your
I think
bed.
maybe it's a trick now?
First your cousin and her Osmosian mate abandon you.
Oh.
And now Rook.
The mutt is clearly the brains of the operation,
Ooh.
right?
He is not a mutt. It seemed malware somehow managed to obtain crucial but flawed design specs for your Omnitrix, a Nematrix. It was only missing one critical element: predator DNA.
Oh shit. So we're seeing him collect the DNA, yeah. Dune. It's like Dune. Or Tremors.
There was no shortage of candidates to be found in the null void.
Who's this?
I'm trying to get the hang of my powers.
Oh, nice.
I don't have time for fly fishing.
All right, you two, knock it off.
She started it.
Oh shit.
It's hero time. Heroes time.
Heroes time. This guy again. Why not?
Don't you ever get tired of that alien?
Yeah, he uses them a lot in the flashbacks. What the hell?
I think its brain went.
Yeah, something. Yeah, something.
Bill.
Wait, what?
Your old plumber partner? What's he
What?
doing here?
Right now, he needs our help.
Oh my god, that was him?
By Phil way back when I was 11.
Fido, as you call him.
Fido.
He'd have to be lacking in higher function to be loyal to you.
You would do well to show
I
respect
love
to
his
the greatest
responses.
huntsman.
You really ought to watch that temper.
Exactly. Oh my god, what is he doing?
Get
Oh!
ready to throw down with Humongosaur!
Oh, he's Wrath. I mean, not Humongosaur.
Self-proclaimed greatest huntsman in the galaxy.
I want to see him fight Kyber. Come on.
Enough playing.
Oh, shit.
Rat season. Kyber season!
Oh.
My partners are just going to have to take you in pieces.
Oh, what happened? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Took you long enough.
No, impossible.
You got
This
tricked.
is completely untraceable.
I think I did a pretty good job hiding mine. Rook's been tracking me the whole time. So you actually meant all that stuff you said about always having to save my
Ooh,
butt?
oh shit.
You mean like I did just now?
That is no way to address the greatest huntsman in the galaxy.
Dude, you're not even the greatest huntsman in this room. You don't recognize a trap when you see one?
That should have killed him, honestly, but okay.
It's hero time! But since this new Omnitrix never gives me the alien I want, I should try to turn into Heat Blast.
Oh, man!
Give me some Humongosaur!
He can never get Humongosaur.
Why am I not surprised?
Ouch. Oh, drills. Why not? Okay.
You might want to consider switching to another alien form.
Yeah, do something.
Go Humongosaur!
And it's not gonna
Here
happen.
we go!
Flies, Predator.
But he'll turn into it, probably. Oh.
Just give me something useful.
Something.
Is that too much to ask?
I'll take it.
Why not? Oh boy. Just swing it back and forth.
Bring it on, ugly.
Watch yourself, my god. Okay, here we go, here we go.
But it lacks power.
Ooh, there you go.
Versatility does have advantages.
Oh my god, he's gonna eat him.
I give up. Surprise me.
It's gonna be Humongosaur. It's finally Humongosaur. He's so happy.
Who's the predator now?
The huntsman has no whistle.
It's him, yeah. That's a new one, holy shit. Yeah, that wasn't gonna go well.
I so wish I could strike the final blow myself.
You won't be able to.
Thank the game, old friend.
What is that? Oh.
A way big favor.
Oh. Nope. Ooh. What?
Mephiston neural grip.
I'm about to say something. Okay.
Big chill.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right,
Oh.
Kyber.
Oh my god.
Freeze.
That redesign. Alright. I want to stop the ship from failing.
Better make a 3.
Yeah, get out of there. Exactly. Oh my god. Oh, lucky.
For your sake.
Okay, this was another great episode of Ben 10 Omniverse, and it didn't feel like the ending of a season. Then again, I don't think they're actual seasons. I think they were just like 10 episode arcs or like breaks or something. I don't know how it exactly is. All I know is that there's like, I think like 80 episodes, and there's 10 episodes per thing. Like there's like I think it's like someone said like part 1 or part 2 or like something else. But it didn't feel like this was the ending, but I guess essentially it could be because Kyber ultimately failed to capture Ben. I like how even Ben addressed it. Like, okay, wait a minute. You call yourself the greatest huntsman ever, right? It took you 5 years to capture me, but yeah, it took Vilgax like 5 minutes. Like, it's a good comparison. Like, oh, fair point. But Kyber wasn't so much just hunting Ben this entire time. He's been like basically searching around for a long time to get the predators of the aliens that Ben can turn into and getting them on the Omnitrix. That's what they called it, the Omnitrix, this device that, of course, his dog was wearing. they used Phil. They used freaking Max's former plumber partner as a first test subject. I'm assuming he's dead because it didn't work out. But he showed up in that flashback sequence and went and attacked Ben, Gwen, and Max, which I'm happy they did this because Gwen actually used magic a little bit in the episode. Because in the main flashback episode introducing the basic introduction and basic origin of malware, Ben was finally, accelerate for a couple seconds. Almost a big chill. Accelerate for a couple seconds, just like, yes. But we saw the malware's origin story, basically, and how it all ties into all this shit later, right? Well, Gwen didn't use magic. She did a little bit in this episode in that sequence, which was pretty nice. But Phil was the first test. Like, it's crazy to think, like, I was like, who is this guy? Right? Who is this guy? Like, who? Oh my God. It makes so much sense now. Holy shit. And then there was never really a moment between him and Max because he was taken away. He was, like, transported away or something. No idea. He's gone, though. So I'm assuming he's not ever going to come back. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am. Kyber was also mentioning, like, he mentioned Gwen and Kevin and referring to, like, how they left him first and everything. So he's been tracking Ben for a long time. Obviously, they were there at the beginning of the show at Omniverse and then they left. But Kyber's been following Ben, I think, for quite some time leading up to now his, basically, hunt to go after Ben 10. So it's kind of crazy to see that, but I'm really enjoying how they handled Kyber over time. And, I don't know, maybe this is the ending of his character because he failed. I don't know. Because obviously there's that doctor, professor, whatever, Foster, whatever the name is, sorry, that character that was helping the tech and shit with malware for this Omnitrix. He showed up right there with malware at the very end. So they miraculously were there right there somehow. Somehow. Don't know. We got to talk about a couple of the aliens that Ben turned into this episode. He finally got Humongosaur. Finally did. The voice is a little different. I did notice the voice is not the same. Unless I'm crazy and I'm wrong. But I'm 99% sure that is not the original voice of Humongosaur. So we got Humongosaur, which was cool to see that. And then we got to see the predator of Humongosaur, which is kind of, we haven't seen that before. And the way that Ben turned into gray matter, obviously he was wanting to go way big. Of course he didn't get it. He's been asking for Humongosaur for so damn long. It was an ongoing bit, or ongoing running bit. But he got gray matter and found a way to do that little, like, maneuver or something that Kyber did to him, and did like a little neck thing or whatever. It was some sort of term, and it knocked out this gigantic creature like nothing. Ben also turned into Big Chill. Now, at first, I'm like, Big Chill, holy shit. I didn't even think about, oh my God, Big Chill. Wait a minute. I don't know how I feel about the redesign. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how I feel about it. It feels kind of weird to me. It feels strange. But who knows, right? Who knows how I'm going to feel over time as we continue. But I will say, I don't know how I feel about it right now. I really miss the original design of Big Chill. Now, Wrath really doesn't look like he changed at all. Now, that's the weird thing I have right now with what this show is doing. And I feel like I need to maybe just make a video about it. Even though I'm pretty sure all the Ben 10 fandom who's been watching all these shows have heard this or have discussions about this. But I really just don't know how I feel about some of these redesigns. Because there's certain aliens that don't have much of a redesign. Like Humongosaur has like some sort of like thing over his chest, right? And I'm pretty sure the only thing that they did for Wild Mutt was adding like a collar, right? So small things. Wrath looks exactly the same, pretty much. But then you have Big Chill, his body has drastically changed, right? He looks very different. Stinkfly, there's a little bit more change there, but he's basically the same character, basically. But there's other aliens like Jury Rig that looks completely different than Jury Rig from, Ultimate Alien when he first popped up in that one episode, which is like a weird how they handle that, but it's just weird how some aliens are more consistent with small changes because of the animation style has shifted, and then you have completely different like redesigns, like where it's clear that that's the alien, but they look different enough, like they made some change. Like I don't know how I feel about that because it's inconsistent. If you're going to make small changes to the aliens, then just stick with small changes to fit the art style and just show little differences. don't have one alien have a small change like Wildmutt having the collar, and then having Big Chill completely change his entire like look of his body in terms of like he's got a bigger chest and he's got like his head and stuff. Like when he had the hood up, it looks like it's more elongated in areas, like it's shaped differently. If you're going to only add a collar to Wildmutt, right, then why would you go with this giant change of Big Chill? Like he's still essentially Big Chill because he's blue, and you can tell it's still kind of the same alien in him when he puts the cloak over, but you could just tell it's a very different design entirely. It's like, why would they do that? I don't know. I'm questioning it. I don't understand. Anyways, getting off that topic. So, it's clear that Ben thought this was like, it was all planned, but Rook is like, I meant everything I said in our little argument. I meant everything. Like, I saved you, and you don't do this on your own, which is accurate. So, I really appreciated that. It's funny how Ben thought one thing in terms of how this kind of broke up and how they tricked, Kyber to believing, though, he abandoned you. But no, he's been tracking me this whole time. But Rook meant everything he said. So realistically, it was actually a fight. Kinda. I guess. Between them. So, yeah. So, I guess to kind of wrap up these 10 episodes. I've really enjoyed the journey. I've really enjoyed what they've done with the show. And yes, I do have some nitpicks, like the whole redesign of certain aliens and everything. And maybe the fact that Kevin and Gwen, I think, should be in the show. But that's just my opinion. I like Rook. I'm liking him, but I don't love him. And I don't, maybe the whole point is I'm not supposed to really like his character or love his character right now. Oh, it's only been 10 episodes, so I get it. But I'm enjoying what they're at least attempting here in terms of introducing us to a bunch of new aliens. We had a very compelling, in my opinion, main villain with Kyber and his dog, alien, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, he had a name for the species. I liked all that. I like how they tied in the flashback malware stuff to this stuff and how it all ties in one big story. So that was pretty cool how they handled that. And I will say overall, I'm having a fun time, and it's goofier at times. Like the show does get serious at points, but it's really on the goofier side because it really is relying on some of the nostalgia. Obviously, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien also relied on nostalgia from Classic, essentially. But Omniverse had more of a separation between Classic versus Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. And Omniverse, of course, is addressing flashback stuff, which is like taking place after the events of the original show, but it's still in that same kind of era feeling because, Ben and Gwen are still very young. Like they're only like a year or so older, clearly, because of course Ben said he was 11, and people said he's 11, and they just confirmed it here to make it even more clear. And Max, of course, like they're still driving around in that rust bucket, so it's that nostalgia pull, but they're also making the storylines work and how it ties all in, and how Ben was turning into new aliens and they were running into new threats. So clearly there was more story happening after the events of Classic before we pick up in Alien Force 5 or so-ish years later, where he puts on the Omnitrix again. So I'm liking that we're seeing those elements in this show. And I think it enhances the show to see these flashbacks. I would have been fine if I never would have known there was flashback plans, and they never did. They just focused strictly on, just the main timeline of current events happening right now, never really flashing back. But the fact that it's there, I think it does help the show, in my opinion. It also kind of helps with the tone, because it makes more sense why the show has some really goofy parts and why it's even more silly at points, because it is literally tying itself to the past, which is the Classic era. Alien Force Ultimate Alien had goofy moments, had goofy episodes, but it definitely wasn't that same kind of humor and funny moments they were trying to convey. It was different because they were trying to go for a little bit of an older audience who grew up on Ben 10, and now that Ben's a little older and Kevin is now in the mix and Gwen's older, they're gonna make the tonal shift a little bit. But now with Omniverse, Ben's still acting like a kid, but they're tying it into actual younger Ben at the time, with Tara Strong, of course, still voicing young Ben. So there's all that stuff there. So it all works out. So Omniverse is crushing it, in my opinion. Overall, I'm really having a good time with it, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. I'm really excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys soon. Can't wait to see what happens next. Peace out.